Welcome to another Cup of Joe. I'm your host, Joe Tumalo, CEO of PG Partner, along with my return wonderful guest, Greg Warner from iMarket Smart. Welcome back, Greg.
I got to get my cup of Joe. I got to get it out. There it is.
There you go. Thank
Yeah.
you.
Actually, I got to get the cup of Joe mug. But
Oh, no
yes,
kidding.
thanks for having me.
Pleasure. Thank you. Today's topic is transactional leading into relational.
Yes. Let's talk about that.
Now, when you first offered that idea, I'm thinking, well, with AI and the generations coming up that are more everything on the phone, computer, hard to get somebody on the phone, hard to get them to respond to emails. Is it going to be more transactional? And do they want relationships? Who knows? I don't know, right? They
Yeah.
10, 20, 30 years from now, who knows? But
So
even 5 years from now.
Yeah, let's unpack a couple things. I think the fundraising sector has used the word relationship in the wrong way. And it leads a lot of especially younger fundraisers to misunderstand what it means. It's really about trust, and the word relationship, I mean, like most of these supporters, donors, the vast majority do not want to go to the movies with a fundraiser. They don't want to have dinner, you know. The relationship that they want is one of a person seeking purpose, meaning, community in ways that resonate with their life story and values. And they're looking for a person who's associated with the cause that they have belief and confidence in to sort of guide them and be a trusted guide, a sage that can help them make decisions in their life that will become so they feel purposeful and part of something bigger than themselves. So the relationship is not the traditional, like what you might think when someone says, well, we got to build relationships. It's, and then they're like, well, let me take you golfing, or let me take you to lunch, or no, that's not what they want. What they want is someone they can trust, who can prove to them that they can guide the supporter on this path to find more meaning. Does that make sense? First, before I get into the pivot?
Yeah. Now, I will say, because all my work is plan giving, contract work, the older donors love to go to lunch.
Sure.
Because they're retired, and some of them maybe living in a retirement community just love to socialize. Yeah.
Yeah, and that is at that age, that is sort of the watering hole or the methodology of how they relate with people. But because they are signaling that they want to engage in this kind of discussion to find community, feel a sense of belonging, avoid loneliness, that's actually not the best reason to meet with someone, frankly. But that's how they operate, so that makes a lot of sense. But let's not mistake the fact that they want to eat lunch with that's a relationship. The relationship needs to be one where we understand that there are boundaries. You are a service provider as a fundraiser. You're a facilitator, and proving that they'll meet you for lunch, that or meeting you for lunch proves that they trust you, which is I call it the chasm of distrust. It's something that fundraisers need to get over, or help their supporters get over, because if there is no trust, then nothing else can happen. So yeah, how does that sit with you?
Good. Yeah. And can I get lunch appointments like that with 30, 40, 50-year-olds? No.
No,
Major
that's
gift,
right.
major gift donors and prospects? No.
Yeah, that's not how they operate. They're
Yeah.
in the go-go years, they're busy. Time is their most valuable possession. They want to use it wisely, and you need to build even more trust. And sadly, with the older folks and the lunches, they could waste your time if they're not truly seeking value in relation to the cause and in relation to sharing for the purpose of the cause, and rather they're seeking value in terms of just filling up their time because their children don't visit them. And that's not a good equation for anybody, frankly, especially the cause that's paying the fundraiser's salary. It's
And we're usually picking up the check too. So
yeah.
the
So spending
charity's
all
paying
that
for them.
time and thinking then that we're building a relationship when we're really just filling up somebody's time.
Mm.
And there's a big difference. So again, it comes back to, are you on above board? Do they understand that the purpose of the meeting is to build trust so that we can advance this and develop? This is where advancement and development come from, so that we can advance and make progress on your decision making towards how to share so that you find meaning in your life through developing a gift that's right for you as the donor. That's very important. Don't mistake the fact that they allowed you to have lunch with them. That means you have a relationship. The relationship needs to be one of mutual purpose and exchange of value. So what's going on, talking about the pivot from transactional to relational in the sector, and I've been in this now, let's see, started the business 2008, pivoted to fundraising in 2011. So how many years is that? 25 minus 11. We can't do math anymore because
I
all we
didn't know
do is
there'd be a
on
math test.
ChatGPT,
Yeah.
right? So that's like 14 years.
Hmm.
The sector has been for 50, 75 years overly transactional. It's been about acquisition, it's mostly. And most of the money goes towards acquisition or low dollar transactional kind of fundraising, meaning, if you give, you get a free t shirt or a calendar or address labels. You if you give, you get to go to an event, you get a table, you scratch your friend's back, they go to your event, and so on. Very transactional, even email transactional, um, on and on. It's very expensive, and it's proving that it really doesn't work, and especially for the Gen Xers. Maybe we got away with it. Well, we've certainly got away with it with the silent generation, but the baby boomers now are really in the thick of their giving years, and they're less trusting, from the Vietnam era and such. And then Gen Xers, look, we were fed, Count Chocula and tricks, and we don't trust anybody. They told us the food pyramid meant that you need to eat like 5 tons of bread a day. We don't trust anything. So um, it's going to be harder and harder to be transactional in the fundraising world. The younger kids don't trust anything either. What people are looking for is a sense of belonging, shared values, community, sense of purpose. And you can't get that out of a immediate dopamine hit transaction. But not only that, these transactional methodologies are driving people to give out or give up on giving entirely. And we've seen that in the data where 20 years ago it was 66% of Americans gave to charity. Now it's about 48%.
Mm.
So people are dropping out of giving because they don't like the experience. Just imagine if people didn't like the experience of going to Disney World, they would stop going. Well, people don't like the experience of giving. It's not so fun. It's tends to be uncomfortable. There's some shaming involved sometimes, pressure, you know, toggling on your emotions. Um, it it's looked down upon. And meanwhile, the money, most of the money that goes to charity is coming from people giving assets. So, and that can be mid-level, major, or plan giving. But most of the money that charities get comes from asset giving. It's it's off the charts, not even a fair comparison. And then, of course, people doing the transactional fundraising worry. They think, well, if we don't acquire donors, how do we get to the point where they'll give assets? Well, truth is, you don't have to actually acquire them as givers. You need to engage them so that they feel part of the community and feel like they're getting some exchange of value for leaning in and being part of the community, whether that's liking a post on social media or following an organization, signing up, subscribing, maybe attending a free webinar, downloading an impact report, watching a video of a beneficiary. These, the more you do of that to engage people, then if you give them an off ramp, of course, this is biased because I really pioneered this in a way, is by giving them a survey, then people will tell you more about them so you can engage them properly further. But then they'll also tell you whether they're capable and interested, showing their intent to give assets. And then you can focus your asks per se, although I wouldn't jump right into asking, but you can focus on the people who say that their intent is to consider giving assets. Then you can focus not on soliciting them, but on further building trust and engaging with them. So what I'm saying is, I'll round this up, is that the sector is being forced to pivot from transactional to relational, with the on-ramp being engagement and trust building rather than the on-ramp or input into the organization's world being that first $10 donation.
Good stuff. And iMarket Smart helps people do this.
Yes, that's the whole thing, is to remove friction from the philanthropic process for the donors. It's a donor-driven system that helps bring the donors together with a fundraiser, a facilitator, when the time is right for the donor, so that this way, frankly, the donors are not getting hounded when they're not ready, and the fundraisers are not going out on wild goose chases because they got a prospect identification list that was well screened and everything, but you have no idea if the person, it's really the right time in their life to think about giving or sharing assets. That's that's the gap that we close. So thank you.
Yeah. And how can people get in touch with you, Greg?
Well, they can find me easily on LinkedIn, Greg Warner. I do actually respond to all that. They can email me at info@imarketsmart.com, and of course the website imarketsmart.com.
Great. Thank you as always, Greg. Much appreciated and helpful.